The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Morning Market Kickoff with your host, Tommy O'Brien. Now, Tommy O'Brien.
Good Friday morning, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien, coming to you live from TFNN just after 9 a.m. Eastern Time. We got 24 minutes to go until the start of trading, and we got a little bit of volatility to kick things off yet again. We got two-way action in this market right now, but we pick it up in the positive territory with the S&Ps up by 28 points. How about that acceleration? Right, 7:30 a.m., we're getting an acceleration again, and yeah, you got Bitcoin under pressure, but we got the S&Ps up by 0.4%. We were lower in the pre-market, looking a little dicey. Markets catch a bid at 7:30. As that's some Fed talk out there. Mr. Williams, potentially. We'll bring that up in a moment. And talking about Fed cuts, but yeah, that is the boost in the market. So we're going to jump over. You check out the Dow, up by 238 points or 0.5%, just above 46,000, 46,063. The Russell up by 16. How about Bitcoin? Did you have 79,000 on your bingo card this morning? Because we almost got there. Yesterday we were at 92,000. You were all the way down to 80,750 this morning. Right now we're trading off $2,300. Trading at 84,120. Jump over to crude. 57.42 is the low. 58.08 right now is where we're trading. Gold catches a little bit of a bid up to 4,075. And again, as I mentioned, we got actions in yield. How's that for higher price? There's your spike at 7:30 on the market. You spike to 113.14. You get the 10-year right now. We're up by 12 ticks, trading at 113.08. You get the 10-year yield at 4.06. And New York Fed President Williams, further adjustment. That's what he sees, all right? New York Fed President Williams sees room for further adjustment to rates. And that swung everything, man. His comments, I view monetary policy as being modestly restrictive, although somewhat less than before our recent actions. Therefore, I still see room for further adjustment in the near term to the target range for the federal funds rate to move the stance of policy closer to the range of neutral, thereby maintaining the balance between the achievement of our two goals, which are price stability and full employment. The odds of a cut on those words doubled almost. Traders now see a 64% chance of another cut from 36%. What's that 36 prior? Yeah, it was a big move right away. You jump over the dollar. And there's your spike lower on the dollar. So if we're going to get cuts, we're going to get a lower yield. We're going to get less dollars chasing that lower yield. You got a weaker dollar. And gold catches an acceleration on that 7:30 bar. You were trading at about 40.40. You traded at 4,072. As yes, cuts are on the horizon and the market rejoices. And will that be enough to save some of these equities this morning? Because things were looking a little dire this morning. There's your 7:30 acceleration. NVIDIA's up almost $6 from where you were trading right then. NVIDIA up by $2 on the session right now, coming into the opening bell at 182.19. Jump around to some other stocks that were under pressure yesterday. Amazon slightly in the green at 218 this morning. Meta shares chopping around near 590. You were as low as about 580. Now, on the flip side of that Fed speak, you have Susan Collins saying they're appropriate for now. Boston President Susan Collins, holding interest rates steady would be appropriate for now. But the markets is listening to Mr. New York Williams this morning. Many is not most. Remember we were talking about Federal Reserve verbiage? That many is not most. Collins said the release of the September labor market data didn't significantly change her outlook on the labor market. I do think mildly restrictive policy is very appropriate right now, and that makes me hesitant as I look forward to think about what the next policy move should be. Talk about inflation, you're talking about full employment, and both of them are battling, but we got the market catching a bid today. Now, you talk about yesterday, folks. Yesterday was quite a day. Your NASDAQ 100, look at the volumes that we did yesterday. We haven't seen anything like this in a long time. You blew apart the October 10th lows, and you did it with volume. That is very difficult to do. The NASDAQ 100, October 10th, 915,000 contracts. You do 976 yesterday, okay? And you close it out at almost the tick low. We closed at 24,073.75. The low is 24,073.25, okay? 24,073. The low here was 24,158. You're almost 100 points below that bar. And these bars are each about 12 to 1,300 points wide. So imagine, you take out that entire bar, you close lower, and you do it with volume. Doesn't get much more textbook than that. Doesn't mean it's a guaranteed move lower, folks. But what it does mean is that's quality volume to the downside. You're breaking the lows with volume. And you better pay attention to that selling yesterday that came out. S&Ps, 2.8 million versus 2.45 on the futures. You jump over the SPY. I think I just missed it. Let's see what we came in at. No, you got there by the end of the session. 165 million on the SPY yesterday versus 159. At the closing bell, that was 155. So interesting to see. 10 million got added after the closing bell. Okay, but that's how it works. You got volume on the close, etc. Yeah, you break it, and you engulf the entire bar in the S&P, the entire body. And you're talking about a bar on the SPY that is almost 25 points large. 25 points large on a 675-point ETF index. Remarkable. And then you jump over the Qs. How about that for volume on the Qs? How about that for taking it out? Look at that bar. You just took out everything, and you did it on massive volume. Think about the volume that we did on October 10th, 97.6 million shares. 117. Destroyed it. Some of these big volume days that we've had on the downside recently, November 13th, 71 million shares. Yesterday, 117 million shares. Mammoth volume. On a weekly, there's your October 10th weekly. You're going to take that out with volume, and this is going to be the biggest weekly volume bar that we've had since April 7th. But boy, on a daily basis, folks, you take it out with volume. On a weekly basis, you take it out with volume. And the way that we engulf the entire bar, you've taken everything out that we've been consolidating with since about September 12th. All right, we got markets in the positive. We got a potential Fed cut on the horizon December 10th. And we got the markets pushing green. We'll come right back, folks.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Building wealth trading in the stock market seems impossible to most people. They think it's too volatile and risky. Most people aren't going to take the time to educate themselves on how to do it right. But you're not most people, are you? At TFNN, you'll get the guidance you need to refine your strategies and techniques to invest like a pro. Because you'll be a pro. All TFNN subscriptions, books, software, and courses are available at TFNN.com. And I'm even going to tell you how to get them for less. Use TFNN's Tiger Dollars and you'll get up to a 20% bonus on your purchase. And once you apply them to your account, Tiger Dollars are automatically used for all future or recurring charges. Tiger Dollars also never expire, are fully transferable, and are a great way to add savings to your newsletters or services. Become the investor you were born to be at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger Zen, hosted at Discord. TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years, with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger Zen, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
This portion of the Morning Market Kickoff is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Welcome back, folks. S&P's up by 28 points right now. NASDAQ up by 83. You got the Dow up by 220. Russell up by 14. We check in on Walmart. Quite a day for Walmart yesterday. Slightly in the green to kick things off this morning. We're up almost $1 to 107 and change yesterday. You check it out on a daily basis. Talk about some volume. One of the shining lights of yesterday's action. A little bit of a safe haven on the heels of a big earnings number. And yeah, that's some volume for you on a daily. Now, what do? You break above this volume we had on October 4th? Pretty remarkable, again, that you do it with volume, gangbuster volume on a weekly basis. Yeah, we're going to take it out with volume. Now, you have a high out here of 109.58, but if Walmart ever gets above that, closes above it, and does it with volume, whew. On the flip side of that, you jump over to Target shares. Target up by a few pennies. That's your weekly. Okay, so you are breaking these lows, right? You have some volume out here in the selling from their last earnings. But look at this chart of Target and every earnings, right? You go back a year ago. You were at 160 coming into those earnings. You go to March, disappoints on the weekly bar that week. May, can't find a bid with the market as the market accelerates higher out of the lows of April. Their last earnings begins to slide from an area of 105 down to 86. And now we're breaking those lows. And longer term, I mean, we're now below where we were at the COVID lows. Nobody was even sure that we were going to shop again. And Target was trading higher than it is right now. Very possible we're making a run for $60, folks. You just traded from 270 to 83. Don't even have some. I guess you got a little bit of buying out here, May of 2019. I'm looking for volume bars. August, $80. You break below 80, you're going to 60. You're in this thing, and that might be a nice point. Look at that bar we had from August of 2019. One of the bars that sticked out, some nice buying there. But boy, that's only if you're trying to find a position in target right now. And you don't have to be trying to find a position in this equity, man. Wait for a sign of strength, and there is no sign of strength just yet. All right, let's talk a little bit of streamers. So Warner Brothers Discovery. They've submitted their bids. So Warner Brothers this morning trading about $23, up from $22.88. Check out Paramount Skydance, been on a run lately, $15.77. And Netflix has pulled back from the highs, but they're in on the action as well. And it's been quite a pullback for this equity, man, from 134 to 105. We're now coming back into the highs from earlier in the year. We are breaking those lows with lighter volume, though. Look how the volume's lightening up. Much more encouraging than when you're seeing it accelerate, of course. But yeah, they're all putting bids on for that particular asset. Of the three bidders, only Paramount is pursuing all of Warner Discovery, including them in terms of who wants what, right? Submitted bids for Warner Brothers Discovery, owner of Warner Brothers Movie and Television Studio. The bids, non-binding, and additional rounds are expected. So we're in the early stages here. It would like to have the process concluded by the end of the year, so the timeline's marching on for sure. But nonetheless, Warner Discovery continues to move forward with the plans to separate its assets into two companies. One to house the studios and streaming business, and the other the cable networks. Of the three bidders, as I mentioned, Paramount's the only one that's pursuing all of them, versus NBC, Comcast, and Netflix only for the studios. Go take your cable channels and bring them somewhere else because we don't want them, right? Kind of, right? Any acquisition will require government approval, of course. Netflix owning HBO Max service and whether that would give the combined company unfair market power. It is pretty remarkable that Netflix needs HBO to survive, right? Seems like they're probably making sure. This is one of those situations that, you can't go back in time. But Netflix has all the money to make all the movies and everything they want. They obviously want the studio movie powerhouse, okay? They want, of course, the IP that goes with that, all the brands. So yeah, antitrust comes into the picture, but we'll see where we go from there. All right, this one from the Journal. I'm sure can resonate with a lot. Yeah, the middle class, this inflation deal, you better believe it, man. Personal financial system situation over the last year. Worse off, 44%, better off, 23%. Flip that a year ago. Yeah, and it was at better off 40% number. That was a year ago, March of 2024. This matters in the economy, okay? Whether you're talking about credit card, whether you're talking about car payments, rentals, etc. This persistent inflation, we're still pushing 3% right now. That's the backdrop of the the argument going on. And it's a legitimate argument in terms of where we are in the economy, right? I ordered an Uber to fly back to Boston recently. Okay, we took one to the airport and I took one home. And in Boston, to get to the airport, now you're paying fees on there, etc., but just everything. An Uber was like $55 to take a 28-minute cab ride. That's not how Uber became the business that it was, and that will change when they get driverless vehicles. You better believe it. That's going to be the next progression. But yeah, everything going up. And then, of course, I had enough storage where I had a stroller, I had a car seat, right? I had multiple bags, so I had to go for the Uber XL, which was a Ford Explorer SUV, beautiful car, $100 cab ride, $100 to get to the airport, $100. It's almost as much as my flight to the airport. Have I ranted on what grinds my gears enough yet this morning? But yeah, you better believe it's a factor. And just that sentiment alone, okay, in terms of middle income earners, you better believe it, man, where these costs are. Whether you're talking about insurance, right? Property taxes, owner equivalent rent. I kid, but rent for sure. All right, we're coming back for the opening bell. S&P's up by 25. Coming back, folks.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstad's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstad releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, folks. We got markets open, and we kick it off in the green for Friday trading. S&P's right now up by 28 points. Now, yesterday was remarkable selling, folks. You could almost say it came out of nowhere. Now, it followed NVIDIA earnings. There's no such thing as a coincidence, right? And we got some Fed speak today. That is going to matter, okay? That is going to matter. You better believe it. You know, that market falling apart yesterday, that's falling apart on valuations, but it's also falling apart, okay, because there are economic questions in terms of, just like we talked about, whether it's middle income earners, the strength of the economy, the strength of the consumer underlying that economy. But boy, you come in, NVIDIA blows it away, everything is fine till about 10:30 in the morning, and then the selling began, and it did not stop until the closing bell yesterday. And I haven't seen a day like yesterday where you take out a day like October 10th, you do it with an engulfing bar, and you do it with volume. It's a substantial statement, folks, okay? Because there's no way we're going to take out yesterday's bar with volume today, right? No way we're going to do that. So we'll see where the day holds, but you better pay attention to the selling that went on yesterday. And yeah, we got leverage everywhere, specifically in crypto, okay? Crypto, you're approaching the 1 to 1.618 expansion to the downside. We almost hit it. You got as low as 80,750. About a couple thousand away from the 78,000 mark, which would be the 1-to-1 A to B, your B point October 17th, C point October 27th, and you drive lower. Now on Bitcoin, you back this up a little further, okay? We got highs out here of 74,000 in March of 2024. 74,000. We just hit 80,000. That's a critical area, okay? This whole area that we got is a consolidation for the better part of 2024, and that looks to be your next stop right now. We're filling this gap from that leap right around election season last year, but you better believe that crypto's under pressure. So Bitcoin down by 2.4% right now, Ethereum down by 2.8% right now. Jump over to MicroStrategy. How's about that? MicroStrategy shares in the green this morning by $1. This thing just traded from 457 to 171. Oh. Yeah, and here's that consolidation that I just highlighted in Bitcoin that MicroStrategy is now well within. And you're actually in a losing position if you bought MicroStrategy in March of 2024. Depending on the price, you was high as 181 on that initial run-up. Yeah, the headlines write themselves. Worst month since crypto collapse of 2022. You put this thing on a monthly. How's that for a month? Does that look like the market's slowing down yet? We're going to take out last month with volume, man. Now, you do have this March acceleration, right? The April volume. Don't think we're going to do that. But, man, monthly basis, you're just blowing everything away, and you're going to have accelerating volume. We have Thanksgiving next week, but we're still going to do some volume. We've already done 237 million shares. And you better believe that matters to the market, folks, okay? Talk about some of these equities in particular. Robinhood from 153 to 107, particularly vulnerable in crypto. And on the obvious Coinbase from 444 to 244, right? Check out a weekly on Coinbase. Yeah, you're breaking everything with volume. We haven't done this much volume since late September, early August, an earnings cycle ago. And boy, no, wouldn't be outlandish if you're on Coinbase, folks, if it comes back down, tests the lows of April, right back to the lows of September, which was also an area that had some support back here in the beginning of 2024 for Coinbase. All right, we jump to Amazon, the world of layoffs. Amazon cut thousands of engineers in its record layoffs, despite saying it needs to innovate faster. Well, they might be able to innovate faster with less, and that is going to be one of the trends here in AI. 4,700 positions were eliminated. 40% of them were engineers. Yeah, whew. What are you talking about? Almost 2,000. Video games, advertising, AI search also significantly impacted. But yeah, engineers, not a good position to be in Amazon right now, representing almost half of the layoffs. Not all data immediately available, so it's just a representation. In total, there have been 113,000 job cuts at 231 tech companies, according so far. But yeah, you better believe it's coming. One engineer is going to be able to do the the man-work of how many engineers going forward. It's more than one, and it's more than it used to be with AI. More than 500 product managers, program managers eliminated. That was 10% of the total. Game designers, artists, and producers made up more than a quarter of the cuts, and they were roughly 11% of staffers laid off at Amazon's San Diego office. So, of course, it varies, but nonetheless, engineers, man, that's a big number. Chopping around on the opening bell, S&P's up by 26. You get the NASDAQ 100. Up 92 right now. Amazon, we're flat. You check in on NVIDIA, down by 1.3%. Don't want to see NVIDIA sell off again today. That's the last thing you want to see. Gangbuster numbers on Wednesday, and here we are trading at 178. We were just at 198. How's that? 500 billion up, 500 billion down, right? Like it's nothing. Microsoft, flat to the tick almost right now. You jump over to MetaShares, up by 1% right now. Google, there you go. Google's been on fire, man. One of the leaders. Look at that monthly. Look at that monthly. No weakness there, man. Look at that weekly. You wouldn't even know the markets had any pullback in Google. Look at this. Up by 3.5% for Google shares right now. You jump over to Apple. Just holding up so well right now as well. Up by 0.7%. We jump over the VIX. Quite a spike yesterday. And we're still sitting at a lofty level. VIX down $1.27 with a positive market, but at a pretty healthy price tag of $25.15 as the price of insurance just went up. And that would make sense when you get that type of volatility like we got yesterday. Keep our eye on yields. Some Fed speak today. Pretty remarkable. We've given it all back since then. Since those remarks by Fed President Williams from New York. That was a higher price spike, and just like that, we're back at 113.06 right now. Jump back to the dollar. Yeah, the dollar back to dollar strength, 100.29. And gold up by $7 right now in the session. You jump over to silver, down $1. Silver off 2.1% right now. You jump over to platinum, off 50 pennies. And copper trading at $4.96. Take a look at that daily on copper. It's right in the middle of that range. All right, we're only 8 minutes into the trading day, folks. Something tells me we're going to get a little volatility on Friday trading after yesterday. S&P's up by 24, NASDAQ up by 63. One more segment. We'll come right back.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer, the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direction. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direction.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at direction.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? TFNN is your gateway to the world of trading and investing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, TFNN empowers traders and investors of all skill levels with top-notch investing systems, strategies, and techniques. It's time to protect and grow your money with insight you can trust. Join us live Monday through Friday during market hours for exclusive content that moves with the markets. At TFNN, we bring the trading floor to you. Our seasoned hosts are here to answer your calls and questions live on the air. Check out the Tiger's Den for just $1 and follow us on YouTube and become part of our vibrant community. And remember, at TFNN, we're so confident in the value we provide that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all new premium newsletter subscriptions and services. You have absolutely nothing to risk, so why wait? Tune in live to Tiger TV and transform your trading journey, because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Welcome back, folks. We got markets chopping around right now, and we have the S&Ps up by 21, NASDAQ up by 67 right now. And you jump around, folks. You know, this story, okay, it's what catches my eyes, and don't make it political. It almost has nothing to do with ICE and everything going on, okay? But this one, judge dismisses charges against two people accused of ramming a vehicle against federal agents in Chicago, okay? Now, I back this up only in that this is the article from October 4th, okay? Nope. This is the update from the DHS from October 4th, okay? Attacks on federal law enforcement by domestic terrorists in Chicago. And folks, I go back. It doesn't matter who the administration is, okay? Whenever any government official, okay, uses classifications to erode somebody's rights by calling them something like a terrorist or a domestic terrorist, okay, they should prove it in court, right? So this woman, Martinez, and this gentleman, okay, they're arrested, called domestic terrorists. Now, she's a citizen. This gentleman, I'm not, but she was shot 5 times, okay? And they were accused of ramming the vehicle, okay, getting out and trying to run over an agent that had him shooting her. They were charged as that, and guess what? All the charges are dropped. Why? Because video shows that actually he rammed her, jumped out of the car probably, and just started shooting. Now, I ask you this. If any of that were true, would the judge dismiss the charges against somebody who rammed a government vehicle when the government agent got out of that car? They tried to run that agent over, causing the agent to fear for their life and shoot them 5 times. No, that's not what would happen, right? So it goes in front of a court, and that's not what happened. They got released on all charges, okay? Dismissed charge against the 2 people ramming the vehicle. Why? Because there's video in there of him actually ramming her, likely, okay? And I would challenge you that if a judge dismissed it in that accord, you better believe it, okay? And that one pops up. That happened today. Okay, so that's the kind of stuff when you talk about habeas corpus, you talk about people just getting called terrorists, okay? This woman's a citizen. They said that she jumped out of her car, okay, and that she was going to run him over, and she was armed with a semi-automatic weapon. Well, it turns out that she is an American citizen that is a licensed gun carrier, and she had the gun in her purse and never pulled it out, okay? So it's important that we have courts of law that review everything, no matter who the government official is, because governments love to just call people names that make them seem like combatants, enemies, terrorists, okay, reduce their rights, they don't need them, all of this stuff. And meanwhile, that's not what happened at all, okay? This woman's an American citizen, and they're the ones that ran into her, and then he jumped out of the car and started shooting initially, okay? And there's more to that story. Her name is Martinez, okay? And it's quite a big one, folks, when you check that one out, okay? And you want to be careful of trusting the government, trust but verify, okay? That's what the government's always supposed to do when somebody's accused of being guilty, all right? Courts are essential everywhere of everything. The last thing you ever want to do is have the government say, just trust me, they're guilty. I've told you they're guilty. Don't worry about it. And that's going on a lot right now. And you don't have to be an American citizen, folks, for that to apply, okay? That woman is an American citizen, and even she's getting called domestic terrorist, getting run off the road. Now, yeah, it was an operation going on, okay? Tensions are high. She was driving on the road, but, you know, they don't release people, folks, that run cars off the road, okay? They don't release the vehicles if you actually get out and try and run a cop over, causing him to fear for his life and shoot at you, okay? That's not what's going on there. And thankfully that came out for that woman. She got shot 5 times after getting ran by an ICE vehicle, it looks like. So, you know, it doesn't have to be one or the other. You can read through what's going on here and have good and bad on both sides, okay? And that's a bad deal going on, period. And that's why, you know, one of the scariest things going on right now, folks, is that courts have to be involved in everything, okay? People just getting this habeas corpus, there's proving things in court, there's all of us having the right to be innocent until proven guilty, okay? And just be real careful with how quickly everything is getting designated out there. That you know, the government says that they're a terrorist, whether they're a narco terrorist getting blown up in the middle of the sea, okay? None of those people getting put in front of court. The infallible government argument, okay, there's no such thing. There's no such thing as infallibility, folks, okay? And that's why the courts are essential in certain things like that, especially with American citizens, but it goes beyond that as well. And you read that article this morning, and yeah, you better believe it. All right. Blows me away, man. All right, call them domestic terrorists. Meanwhile, DHS just runs her off the road, jumps out of her car, starts shooting, shoots the lady 5 times, and brags to his friends. 5 shots, 7 holes. Yeah. All right. Here goes the market. We got some selling kicking things off. Boy, you know, it doesn't mean it has to happen today, folks, but that was something else yesterday, okay? It's going to be real important to see how we come out of this in terms of whether we shop around today. What kind of volume do we get? Do we get a bid? Market even is pretty sure that now that Williams, he's on board. Okay, rates, but guess what? Even rates. All right, we spike higher at 730. No, you give it up. All right, 113.08 right now. A lot of unknown going down. Even when you talk about that Fed December 10th meeting and you jump over to the swap probabilities right now. How's that for you? Right? 1 day ago, the odds of a cut were 39%. Today, 73%. Oh, what a difference a day can make, as they say. 26%, they stay where they are. It's anyone's guess almost right now, folks, okay? There's a lot of volatility, and we got about 3 weeks until that comes down the line. But guess what? Next week's Thanksgiving, and that's going to fly by before anybody knows. You know, as in you show up Monday, show up Tuesday, we might get some volatility. Traders might have to stay in front of that desk. But we're all eager to get out of there on Wednesday. Go see your family. Enjoy some good turkey and stuffing and all that good fun stuff. Yeah, you look at a longer-term picture of this. The first A to B, C to D, okay, brings you up to 19,447 in the NASDAQ 100. And that is going from the 2023 lows. Boy, that was quite an acceleration, right? You blew right past it. Almost got up to the 1.618 expansion. You go back further than that, that's the 1.618 from the lows of COVID. Okay? So you have a COVID A to B, C to D that brings you to 20,823. You have a smaller one in the middle of that begins in January 2023. You get a B point up there July Your C point is back there in the lows of 14, and that brings you to 19,447. So both of those completed at about 20,000. And here we are, still sitting at 24,200 right now. NASDAQ, S&Ps, they're all in the green. One more segment, come right back, folks.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter, a must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, folks. We got markets in the green right now. We take a look at the heat map. Google shares up 3.6%. Technology stocks mostly in the red. Okay, you got the NASDAQ 100 up by 152 points right now. We have Tesla slightly in the green, Google powering the market higher, Apple shares up by 0.8%, but Microsoft in the red, Nvidia in the red, Broadcom, AMD off 1.6%, Oracle's off another 4% right now. So we're not exactly out of the woods. Palo Alto down by 0.5%, CrowdStrike off 2.1% right now. So not exactly buying the dip everywhere. Google with some big help in this market. Other pockets of winners right now, consumer staples mostly in the green, healthcare. Look at the healthcare. Yeah, Lilly up by 1%, Abbott up by 1.5%, AbbVie up by 1.8%, Merck up by 1.4%, and Pfizer up by 2.1% right now. All right, Bitcoin, a little bit of a pop. I say little. Right up to the highs of that acceleration at 230, man, and that was some selling. Had almost 1,100 Bitcoin at 2:30 in the morning getting done. Big volume spike, especially in the middle of the night. That's Europe time, but nonetheless. All right, we talk about yesterday's action. Wildest trading day since tariff shock to test dip buyers' nerve. Now, check out this. This is with the S&P 500 swinging at least 1% in both directions, okay? Not just 1% down. This is days where the S&P 500 was at one point up 1% and down 1%, okay? And how many days has that happened? Look at the volatility in 2008, man. 32 days you were up and one. Market couldn't figure it out. 2009, right? You go back to 2002, okay? 1998. 2022 again, COVID, okay, 8 times it happened. 2022, 6 times. We've had a little bit of a lull, and now it's been 4 times. We're almost at the end of the year right now. But yeah, we got some volatility. Market trying to figure it out. And market's in the green, but the day is young, as our man Basil Chapman would say, and he's coming up next with the Tiger Technicians Hour, folks. Steve Rhodes at 11, fast market at 12.